Turn the volume up and let it flow. Juiced up, Jabba's got the best show. Dropping hot takes with that heavy glow. Breaking down the ring like a pay-per-view blow. Juiced up vibes hit like a pile driver. Spin the tails hotter than a wildfire. It's the podcast kings calling all the liars. From backstage chaos to the main event desire. Suplex the truth with stats so raw.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Indeed.
Oh, my God. It's a fine Sunday.
Yes, it is. No sports other than baseball. What more can you guys do for fun?
Literally. Tune into the Juiced Up Jobbers. Hear us talk and bullshit for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Whatever y'all will allow us.
Today, we have something very simple for y'all. We are going to rank John Cena's best and worst rivalries. Rivals.
As you could tell, I mean, as y'all couldn't tell with the shirts that we're wearing.
Oh yeah, you should know by now. So, in just 1 second. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. Fucking A. Oh my God.
What's going on, Michael?
What's up, Mike? Appreciate y'all being here. Oh my gosh.
What happened? What is going on?
My phone is just being stupid.
Gotta love technology.
All right. Oh my God.
We're suffering technical difficulties. Go figure.
Yeah, my thing is not working.
What do you need your phone for?
Trying to promote. But I guess we'll just hop right into it.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about promoting this shit, but whatever. Okay. All right. So today we got, let's say, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24.
How many feuds?
God, I mean, I got like 26 feuds on here.
Sweet Jesus.
So, as you can see, we have the ranking system goes greatest of all time is the absolute best of the best. You Can't See Me, great rivalry, great rivals, but not quite the greatest. Hustle, loyalty, and respect I reserve for ones that are respectable. They're all right. Never Give Up. They were but they weren't the worst of the worst, which fine speech is going to be reserved for the worst of the worst.
And there's a couple of worst in the worst of that list.
There's a couple of them, but I guess we'll start off hot with arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rival of John Cena's, the Rated R Superstar Edge.
Do we even have to explain ourselves for this
I don't
one,
even
dog?
think we have to explain ourselves where this is going here.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the greatest rivals John Cena has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go out of order here. I'm not going to keep going in the same order because we got a kind of some heavy hitters up front here. We're going to mix it up.
Go at random. Select someone real fast that you think can think of.
How about the Big Show? John Cena's classic rivalries with the Big Show. Not someone that is talked about a lot.
I'm gonna give him, hustle, loyalty, and respect.
It's respectable.
The matches are
respectable-
okay. They are not horrible matches, but the build-ups that they had with the matches are good. Like let's not ignore the fact that this first match that elevated him to superstardom was against the Big Show at WrestleMania 20. That was pretty much the stamp on the hat. Where if you've seen documentaries saying it, where everybody was telling Big Show, "Oh, don't put this guy over. He's gonna kill the business."
Mhm.
Big Show was one of the ones that I know what the fuck I'm doing. He's gonna be the guy. And
The
look
guy.
at Big Show's intuition. So you got to give him props. Where also let's look at it from this perspective. When he first lifted him up in the FU, when it was still called the FU, it was a shock because John Cena's a big guy, built wise, but height wise, he's like what 6'2",
He's like 6'1", 6'2", isn't it?
and picking up the Big Show like a toy was shocking enough. And let's not ignore the fact that at WrestleMania 25, when he lifted up, go figure, the two people that are first on the list at the same time. And then there were crickets.
Yeah, I would put it hustle, loyalty, and respect. They didn't have much after like the U.S. feud. The U.S. title feud in the beginning of Cena's career, I think, was probably the better work.
Mm-hmm.
However, later down the line, they had the feud over the World Heavyweight Championship that also involved Edge. And that ended up with the World Championship match at WrestleMania 20.
And then he cost him at Backlash.
So yeah, that was solid. I think where it kind of got a little stale, and we'll talk about this a little more.
The Authority during the Authority era.
Yeah,
because 2009, I remember that the Judgment Day match wasn't that bad. Also, the storyline between him and Big Show at Extreme Rules and a submission match, which I don't know what's extreme about a submission match. It's just a submission match.
It's just a submission match.
But the fact that the story was John Cena could not lock the STF on the Big Show, which to be honest, I think was a crock of shit, because at Extreme Rules in 2007, he locked it on the Great Khali, and the Great Khali is taller than the Big Show.
Than the Big Show, yeah. And yeah, that was a weird thing. Let's go a little bit more recent. How about Austin Theory here?
And never give up. I don't think it was horrible. It served its purpose. It
served its purpose, but
I don't think it was horrible, because John Cena did what he had to do. He elevated Austin Theory. Did it go anywhere? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Were we hopeful in 2023? I was there at Mania. Do you know how awkward it was seeing Josiah and Axel's perspective from that? John Cena losing to Austin Theory. Josiah. Axel. Ah!
Yeah, it's two just completely not random, but opposite ends of the spectrum of excitement levels there. Because not many people was too happy about that, I'd assume. Gosh, I am mush mouth brain today. So let's go. John Bradshaw Layfield. Personally, for me, this is You Can't See Me. Yes. I think JBL and John Cena had great chemistry together, especially early on. JBL was the perfect heel for John Cena to conquer. And they had some brutal matches. Like the WrestleMania match. The WrestleMania match was okay, but once they were able to
Judgment Day, Judgment Day
is one of the best in my opinion.
Not just to mention they feuded again in 2008. I don't know if it was the Great American Bash or what pay-per-view was it, but him and John Cena had that street fight where JBL won because JBL could not beat John Cena, but he finally did, and there was another barbaric, brutal match. This is before they went the PG route. I think this was a month before they went to the PG era. It could have been a GOAT rivalry if the Wrestle 21 match was better. It was good, but it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah.
But still, You Can't See Me. That's one of the greatest feuds of all time. Again, Big Show is the one that gave him the WWE the idea of making him the guy. JBL helped John Cena establish himself as the face.
It just worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Oh, we're going to the
The
future.
Nexus rivalry.
You know where it belongs. I don't gotta explain myself. Put it there.
I hated this rivalry. Not only like that John Cena shouldn't have like won that rivalry at
Mm-hmm.
he could have. It's just like it was immediately he won the rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing there. And then it was just it was kind of unfair for me to say this, but I mean Wade Barrett was never interesting to me as a world title contender after that. You know, he just got dispatched. His whole group got dispatched. And it was just like, yeah, there's not much in this for me.
No.
And I don't think it was ever. It was doomed.
No.
It was
No,
doomed in that fateful Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit happier note. Randall Keith Orton.
Give him. You can't see me.
You can't see me. I can appreciate that. I'm gonna put him a little bit above JBL.
No, see what bothers me about Cena and Orton story wise, like when they are building up their rivalry, is some of the most emotionally complex story buildups you'll see from performers. But unfortunately, their styles of wrestling are so similar that it feels like the matches aren't fantastic. Like, let's be honest, see their early matches for the seven were good.
It's very much a case of and then the bell rings.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to say this past Backlash match I thought it was
solid storytelling at its perfection.
Solid.
I finally got back to seeing Backlash because obviously I was MIA to watch Backlash for my reasons. I had fun, by the way. But yeah, once I went to go back and watched it, it was good. Because the only other matches that I could say that I enjoyed from the Randall Keith and John X Felix Anthony feud is Breaking Point 2009. That I Quit match was solid.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't like their bragging rights Iron Man match. I enjoyed it personally. I thought it was a fun matchup. Like the TLC when they unified the titles, yes, it was like, oh, why are these two feuding for the unification? The match was great.
Yeah, it was really
good.
And
then I had to wait 12 years for them to have another solid matchup at Backlash, which was great. That's why I'm putting it in the You Can't See Me category, because those matchups elevate their feud, and them just their storyline wise, the stuff they do on the mic, the backstage segments, they're storytellers. John Cena and Randy Orton are the personification of what WWE does. Yes, you can have solid in-ring skills, but know how to tell a story out the ring as well. People need to realize that it's not just the in-ring skills that matter. You have to have solid storytelling to give us a reason. Because if I see someone just wrestling, I'm like, why are they wrestling for? I don't want to wrestle for the sake of wrestle. Give me a reason why I'm fighting you for a match.
Yep. Now here, we're going to go a little bit more recent again. Solo Sikoa.
Same thing as Austin Theory. Never give up. Those two are cases of, at the moment, you thought something big was going to happen to both of them. Solo defeated Cena. That's about it.
Solo destroyed Cena, too.
Yeah. So I'm just like...
And
I'm going based off what we perceived it back in those time frames. We thought that, they're going to push these guys to the moon. They're going to be the future. Solo is going slowly but surely. It's not like it's everywhere.
Solo's miscast. Like, they should just let him continue to be that comedic goofball that
he's doing perfectly right now with Jacob
he's been doing great with
and
that.
JC. I cannot call him JC Mateo. It's
JC Mateo.
Yes, it's Jeff Cobb. This is the Solo. I would have been like, bro, the Anoa'i and Fatu family are fucking hilarious. Look at Roman when he switched to the tribal chief. He's saying God mode, needle mover. You were laughing, but you were believing him. This should have been Solo to begin with. Jacob had it from the start where he's just a street talker. He's just, imagine if they bring Zilla in, bro. Just have the Anawais and Fatus be themselves. They are amazing individuals. They are hilarious.
And while we're still on the Anawais and Fatus, let's go to one of my favorite feuds, Umaga.
You Can't See Me. I'm definitely putting up there, and You Can't See Me.
I think it's a very high You Can't See
Me. And it's an underrated feud because yes, Umaga didn't win, but he was one of the few people where you saw the John Cena win-lows reign of terror for some people, where you're like, oh my God, Umaga might do it. That last standing match
could have easily taken
and
over.
we did it in the beginning of the year where we did our top 10 Cena matches. You and I had this match on our list for there's a reason why it's on our list. It is a fantastic match.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite John Cena matches of all time.
Because it doesn't involve wrestling, it's just a fight.
It's just violence. It's just violence, dude.
What I liked about Ruthless Aggression era WWE that I'm sorry the Attitude Era failed to do is their violence served a purpose. They weren't violent.
It wasn't violent for the sake of being violent.
Like the reason Umaga and John Cena had to be violent because you cannot beat Umaga in a wrestling match. You have to be barbaric.
You had to be because he was what Umaga was pushed as, like just a savage and. In the ring,
no matter what feud you put him in, he was a savage. Him versus Cena, him versus Jeff Hardy. Those were two feuds that I could think of that were fantastically casted for Umaga. God rest his soul.
Yeah. Let's go here. Let's go to the Authority as a whole. This had its ups and downs.
I'll put it in the never give up, mainly because it ended with the fart in church where I bring back the Authority just because he wanted to save Edge. John, in context storyline, yes, Edge was a face, but let's not forget the fact that he went to your dad's house. He went to your dad's house.
John Cena, Mr. Perennial Good Guy, was
I don't care, Cena. This man bitch slapped your father in his home. Lita threw your belt in one of the dirtiest waters in the United States. He cost your title at the Elimination Chamber in 2009. And you had to be, superhero. I got to save Edge. He is the ultimate opportunist. I would have been like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to see Stephanie and Triple H on my screen. Yeah. And you just said, I bring back the Authority.
Let's go. Out of these people, let's go to the most recent, Mr. Cody Rhodes. How do you feel about this?
With recency bias and how it happened, mainly I would have put it at You Can't See Me, but after The Rock not doing his just pretty much involve himself for the sake of involving himself, just put it in House of Loyalty and Respect.
And another thing too is it's not over. We know it's not over.
Right now the jury's out. It's House of Loyalty and Respect, mainly because I'm gonna keep it a bean. Now looking back into it, realistically, The Rock did not have to be involved in it whatsoever.
And that's what I've been saying for a long time now. Is The Rock should have never been involved, and the heel turn should have took place at WrestleMania in the main event. Mm-hmm. And you could
Cena could have won. We could have felt that feel good moment, and then guess what? Out of the blue, boom, and then he could have turned heel. Like, see, I always have to come back to make WWE relevant. You couldn't beat me. I'm old. I have to come back to make this company relevant. I would have been like, oh shit, he's right. Cody couldn't handle the pressure that he lost to John Cena. So John Cena has to bring back the status quo of like, oh, Cena wins lows because none of you guys can handle it anymore.
Yeah, there's many different ways they could have done better with this, but I still don't think it wasn't terrible. But it's not over. So we're gonna see Cody Rhodes again before the end of the year. Come back, feud with Cena some more. We'll go. Let's go to the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been ups and downs and turns, tops and turbs. But with Brock, I'm gonna put him in the You Can't See Me category.
I honestly agree. You Can't See Me. I think because you think Brock Lesnar comes back. Oh, not even then. Like they had. Some
beat him at Extreme Rules
matches
but they made up for it. They made up for it at SummerSlam 2014.
Yeah, like Extreme Rules fucking
soured us. Like really. But
that was honestly one of the most brutal matches you would have ever seen.
But the fact that Brock lost to a chain to the face in an AA onto the steel steps where he was literally mutilating Cena. Yeah. They made up for it in 2014 where that's the first time in a long time you saw John Cena quote unquote being buried. He was buried without being buried. It was a squash match, but it had a
Yeah.
storyline for that squash match.
Yeah, it was a great.
It basically gave
great.
him him beating the Undertaker basically gave him superpowers. They made him supernatural. He absorbed Undertaker's supernatural abilities, which is why he became the Beast incarnate because no one could destroy him.
Yeah, that shit. It propelled Lesnar to a whole nother status. Like he had already beaten the streak, but it just
then destroys the guy.
destroys John Cena of all
for
people.
for the undisputed championship. You're like, oh, damn.
And that was all to essentially set up and create the next guy. We'll talk about Roman Reigns. John Cena and Roman Reigns, they've only had really two, I want to say. They've only had two matches.
Which Roman both won.
Roman won both of them. And it was mainly those were both served to get Roman over.
The first time did not. The first time did not do it whatsoever.
First time didn't do well. Roman was, and then the second time Roman was already back.
Yeah, but also to be fair to me at the time too, what was he already at? 2 years into his a year and a half into the undisputed, the Universal title reign?
Not even. Wait,
they feuded in 21, right?
Yep.
So a year into his Universal title reign, which is already doing solid work.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it helped him out a lot. So I'll put it in a house of loyalty and respect. Mainly because the second time around,
respectable. It's definitely respectable.
If it wasn't for that feud, I would have literally put it at never give up by a little bit. Because I don't think Roman won, which should have happened when they feuded the first time, and it did. But at the time, we didn't. Look what happened. It took them. Was this 2017 or 2018 when they feuded at?
I think it was 2017.
So it took them 4 years to finally get Roman over. Yeah.
How do we feel about Sheamus and John Cena's feud? Because
it was shocking. It was surprising.
It was what?
At the time, it was like, oh, you didn't think Sheamus was going to win.
Yeah. You didn't think that was going to happen. But however, this was an era where whenever Sheamus was on my screen, I could have cared less.
Never give up. I'm not putting it at fine speech. It's just never give up. It was there.
I'll give it to you. If it was up to me, it'd been a fine speech.
So the reason I say that, the only reason I say fine speech is because they gave us a shock value WWE Championship.
Yeah, like it was for shock value.
That is it.
But like overall, I just felt like there wasn't much there.
No, it wasn't. That's why I'm only giving it. If Sheamus didn't win the title, it would have been fine speech.
How about John Cena's feud with Batista? Two of these guys that had very similar careers where, it could have gone either way for either of these guys. John became the bigger star.
Batista was always number 2.
And Batista was always number 2. It was much like Stone Cold and The Rock.
The Rock and Austin always switched. There was 1 month he was Rock 1. Rock and Austin are in that it's similar of 1A 1B. If you want to compare them, I would say that that Cena and Batista are Hogan and Savage.
Okay, that makes that makes sense. Yeah.
The way I've always categorized it in each era, there's always the big 3. In that 80s, it was Hogan, Savage, and Warrior. The new generation was Michaels, Hart, and Diesel. Attitude era was always Triple H, Austin, and The Rock. The PG era or the Ruthless Aggression era was Cena, Batista, and Orton. There's always the similar big 3.
It does make sense. I like how you put that.
Yeah. So the way I would put these guys, honestly, hustle, loyalty, and respect. Because I know they had that little one-off feud in 2008 where Batista won at SummerSlam.
Yes.
And then the 2010 feud was a fresh taste because this was a scenario where either one could have won because it's a rare case of like, is Cena going to win? Is Batista going to win? Where either side would be content. No one would be upset. Batista had a solid heel run, which at the time you're like, oh, Batista's a bad guy again? We haven't seen him be a bad guy since 2004. It took him 6 years to be a bad guy again.
Yeah, I feel like their feud was not long enough.
It
Like,
was
they
because then
didn't
it
revisit
started. It started at the
Austin?
Elimination Chamber. They went to Mania. They did Extreme Rules, and they went to Over the Limit. That's like almost 3.5 months of feud.
Mm-hmm.
There are cases where they could have went to the fourth.
I feel like they could have, but
But
it was,
Batista quit. Unfortunately, at the time, he wasn't doing okay with creative with WWE, so he wanted to leave. So, and he did it the old school way, where he took the fall and he left. Because at the end of the day, Batista was still a professional. Saying, if I'm quitting, I'm gonna go lying on my back. No diddy, but yeah, he did it.
no did he? Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Okay, just because this picture is kind of cropped and messed
Kurt
up.
Angle.
Some of the others. This is Kurt Angle, obviously.
You can't see me. You can't see me.
You can't see me. I think, and this is another one I wish Kurt wouldn't have left, because man, there could have been so much more.
Yeah, because it started off with ruthless. It started with ruthless aggression, but also that fall of 2005, people were already feeling a little tired of Cena, but Kurt Angle made sure to believe that, hey, this is the guy.
This is someone I forgot to put on this list, but yeah, Ryback.
Oh, thank God you did though.
I didn't even think to put Ryback on.
Oh, thank God you brought that. Hey, first of all, John, fuck you for reminding us of the past, but thank you for telling us the worst one. Thank you, but fuck you. There we go. Double. There.
Seriously, man, the Ryback feud was another one that just killed me, man. Like,
that was horrible. But no, Kurt Angle's 2005 feud saved it, because this is where people were starting to chant the Cena can't wrestle. But Kurt Angle made sure you believe John Cena as a competitor.
Yeah.
John Cena was the first one prior to Shawn Michaels that made you believe that John Cena can go toe-to-toe with one of the best technical wrestlers of all time.
And let's stick with somewhat in the beginning, too. Carlito and Jesus. You're the one who brought this one up. I don't remember much of this feud.
I thought it was the funniest
storyline
feud.
That Jesus stabbed John Cena while Cena went and filmed the Marine. That's all I remember about this feud.
Yeah. So that started the feud. It was a quick little one-up feud where, realistically, brother, if I'm going to be honest, it was fine speech, because Carlito only had the title for like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, like
the fact that just to have John Cena leave for the film The Marine, you had to have the bodyguard go
stabby in the nightclubby. All right, let's get back to some happier times here. Kevin Owens.
I'll be honest with you, it's cussed between GOAT and You Can't See Me.
I think it is top level. You Can't See Me. Maybe
I think it's above Randy. I think it's above Randy
as well. Just as far as match quality goes.
Match quality too. But at the time, the fact that you had the NXT champion, still NXT champion, beat John Cena while he was U.S. champion with arguably his best run ever with the U.S. title, open challenge. Had an amazing matchup. Elevated Kevin Owens to the point where, they had 3 matches. Kevin won the first and lost the other 2. Kevin's stock was finally there because a couple months later, he beat Ryback for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
He beat him for the Intercontinental Championship. You're like, and then after that, he went off to have what I think was the best matchup in a lackluster WrestleMania at WrestleMania 32. Becomes Universal Champion. They fumbled that bag when they had the Jericho and Kevin Owens feud on a silver platter, but Goldberg. Oh my God, you pissed me off.
And the Great Khali.
Put fine speech.
Okay, so yes, the feud. The feud was not very entertaining.
We only had one good match, the Extreme Rules match. That
Extreme Rules match, I will say that was a great time.
That is arguably Khali's best match in WWE.
Probably, I would probably agree.
You are not making me. But the only thing that I'll respect about Great Khali was his second theme song. That's it.
How about Alberto?
Fine speech. I'm not going to say anything.
Definitely fine speech. Del Rio is somebody that anytime he when people talk about somebody's on TV and you turn it off. Del Rio was that for me. I said Sheamus used to kind of in the beginning bore me, especially when he first started getting into the main event scene. Del Rio was always like that. He never grew on me as a personality.
I felt forced. they try to force me to like him. Like, oh, he's Mexican, he's Latino. You have to. I don't have to like him for shit.
No, he.
You know how much I have to turn off my TV for the "He's my destiny, he's my destiny," that destiny bullshit.
I could not stand Del Rio. What about Rusev? Rue. I think it's firmly in hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Hey, what? Because he won the first match. John Cena never tapped out, but he passed out. You're like, oh my god, John Cena got defeated by submission. It wasn't tapping out, but he passed out.
And I always think about that picture of when I think he attacked Cena in the back, and he put the accolade on him, but with like the steel chain, and it's like going across Cena's nose. Yeah, and it just looks so disgusting and painful. Like I always think about that.
Yeah, we know.
It looks equally painful and goofy as hell at the same.
Yeah, we know what happened after the fact of the feud, but during that feud, there was moments where you still were hopeful for Rusev.
Yes.
So we're going based off what we saw at the moment. We're not going with the aftermath because if we did, a lot of this shit would have been different.
Yeah, like this is just kind of like how we view it at the time. Triple H.
You can't see me.
I would put it more towards the back end of you can't see me.
Hear me out with this one. Why I put him up almost in the middle where Randy and Umaga is.
Kind of like right up
right
here.
There. WrestleMania 22 was the nail in the coffin of John Cena being the guy. When you beat the guy that is known for burying people, the Golden Shovel, the OG Golden Shovel, Triple H, beat him by submission. The only other time he lost by submission at WrestleMania was by He Who Shall Not Be Named. But this was in a 1-on-1 matchup where pretty much they said, hey, I'm no longer the top guy of WWE. This is my usurper. He's the one that has the keys to the kingdom. We trust him. We trust the narrative. They're going there. That's why I have him up there as you can't see me because of that. And then they'll have their back and forths in the Ruthless Aggression era where it was back and forth reigns, but still, I feel like it's up there mainly because only WrestleMania 22, they had 2 solid triple threat matches with Randy, one at WrestleMania 24, very underrated, and the one in Night of Champions. And it still felt that, it's a good feud with them.
I always think about that triple threat where it was Cena versus Shawn and Triple H.
Oh, and Survivor Series, yeah.
I always think of that one. Like for some reason.
But it's up there. It's up there as you can't see me. I don't think it's at the back end because, like I said, Big Show made him feel. Big Show gave him the stamp that this is gonna be the future. JBL did that. This is our champion. Let's trust him. Triple H said, "Hey, this is the guy. Have faith in him." All those opponents that were 3 years in a row served their purpose. And then one of the other candidates there is going to serve the final purpose of his 4-year run in a row at WrestleMania.
And let's go ahead and jump into it. Shawn Michaels.
GOAT. That was a GOAT feud. Because Shawn Michaels was the one that put the nail, shut us up, even though we were still saying that Cena can't wrestle. The fact that you had arguably one of the most greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, what I would say top 10 in Shawn Michaels' career, because it is. And then to have an amazing feud on Raw, on free television, arguably one of the best Raw matches of all time. I would argue with one of his other feuds right there for one of the greatest Raw matches of all time.
Oh yeah. It's one of my personal favorite John Cena matches of all time. The one WrestleMania match is great. I love it. But the fucking match on Raw.
There was another feud we forgot.
Which one?
Look what John put.
I did not put. I purposely left him off here.
Oh my God! People power.
People power. Because he's
no John Laryngitis.
John Laryngitis.
I
will tell you, he would have went and fine speech. I don't care what you say. I couldn't stand.
Let's save the last 3 for last. I want to save the last 3 for last. You know which ones I'm talking about. Let's save those 3 for last, and let's go on with the other 2.
So I don't know which one's exact. I know. All right, so let's talk about the Miz first because I know that this one. I'm Personally,
Okay, you personally?
never give up at the bottom because
Yes.
there were moments.
Mm-hmm.
However, this was not my favorite time for the Miz.
It was me.
Like I grew to like the Miz in the more recent, like past
2016 is when I
8
started to love
to
the
10
Miz.
years. You know, yeah, 2016
That talking
is
smack
when I
speech.
kind of came across and was like, okay, I can respect what this man's doing.
See, talking smack was my pivotal. Like, actually,
Yeah,
not even
it was
that. No,
around-
not
it was
even
around
that. Not even that. I'm gonna say it straight up. I started to enjoy the Miz when he was teaming up with Damien Sandow. Because I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
that is true.
that
was
comedic
what
role
it
was like started out like, oh, the Miz is funny. I actually like this guy. 2016 is like, oh, let me put some
Mhm.
respect on the Miz. I didn't know your game.
Yeah, I didn't know you, Mr. Mizanin.
So yeah, never
So
give up. Because
I'm
his
gonna
later feud with John
assume-
Cena.
I'm going to assume you're talking about the other person you want to talk about first.
Mhm.
Is also one of my personal favorites, and
Yes.
that's Bray Wyatt.
Realistically, because the latter part of their feud is what saved it. Put it at you
Mhm.
can't see me.
It is you can't see me, but like, let's be
It took
real. like,
it took long. It took long
The storytelling for Cena and Bray when they
throughout
got
the feud,
together
just
was
all the
really-
feuds, throughout the whole feud, not the matches. Let's talk about the storyline.
Yeah,
In
story.
2014 and 2020, those feuds were the storylines
There were fantastic stories that got you it. I was invested. I was always invested in
because he
almost
wanted
anything Bray
and both
Wyatt
feuds,
was
similar theme. He wanted John Cena to embrace evil,
in.
embrace his dark side.
And I've been saying it since Cena turned heel. I so wish Bray was still around.
Bray would have had
Bray
a field day.
This would have been a great. He would have been a great opponent for Cena again, just for storyline purposes.
Yeah, because he would have
They
told
had
them
the greatest matches, but I mean, hey, you know,
hey, put some respect on the Firefly Funhouse. That is one of the most entertaining spectacles.
I'm not
I
saying
saw.
anything bad about the Firefly Funhouse. That's literally one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time.
Yeah.
And people look at me crazy for saying that.
No,
It's a creative
like you said,
message.
if Wyatt was alive, it would have been a different perspective. Seeing like we saw this Backlash, face Randy versus heel Cena, babyface Wyatt versus heel Cena
would have been
fed
very
families.
interesting.
Yeah, because how you'd be so confused. I'm like Ray Wyatt is this maniacal puppet master of of deception, and you're like, but he's the good guy now. Is he going to use his powers of mysticism for good now?
Who knows? And that's just it's a shame and it's sad, but AJ Styles,
goat,
greatest of all time feud.
I think it's a goat.
Above Shawn Michaels, in my opinion.
Mr. TNA versus Mr. WWE. You would have never believed.
You never thought you were going to see that.
No, for me, started watching TNA in 2009, 2010. If you would have told 13-year-old me that, in 6 years' time, you're going to see John Cena versus AJ Styles, I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, buddy.
And that's how John Cena is going to win his 16th world title.
Which arguably they had what I consider the best trilogy of matches from the Indie Darling feuds. Because you had him win at Money in the Bank.
Yes.
You had him win what people thought was their best matchup at SummerSlam. But me personally, even though AJ lost this match, I think him versus Cena at the Royal Rumble is still the best. Because people don't... Guys, it took Cena, Super Cena, a top rope AA, roll him over, AA again, to beat AJ Styles. That solidified AJ Styles is like, he only had this for like 3 months, but they are going to trust him again with the WWE Championship sometime in the
what's
future.
Crazy is he only had that title for like 3 months or so.
And then after that, after they beat Jinder, a year.
He was like the guy like for so long.
Because look, at that time, you got to give Vince props that he was patient and he saw the vision with AJ Styles saying, "Oh shit, you're that guy. Let me reward you with your patience. You gave Cena arguably his best match of his career. You made my son look fantastic. You tolerated the U.S. title feud. Guess what? We're giving you the WWE Championship for a year, and you're gonna kill it." Excluding the Nakamura feud, he killed that title reign.
Dwayneson.
You can't see me. I'm not putting it at a GOAT. It's not a GOAT feud.
Hot take, Alex here.
WrestleMania 29 is what killed it. If they would have just had once in a lifetime, I would have put it at GOAT. That I did not need to see it a second time. I did not need to see it a second time. If they would have just had WrestleMania 28, called it right there, I would have given it a GOAT feud because the build-up for WrestleMania 28, from 27 to 28, the fact that they did a full calendar year to build up this matchup, and they did it perfectly. Having them teaming up in Survivor Series, doing that.
And you know what could have saved WrestleMania 29?
Triple threat.
If they would have added the other man we have down there at the bottom.
In a triple threat match, then it would have been a GOAT feud because now you have a reason why two people hate The Rock.
And that would have made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would have helped with people's burnout on that.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're on the topic, CM Punk.
I don't even have to explain myself. It's GOAT.
Where would you put it at the GOAT? Because this is what I want to see. Where your head is. So you have Edge, AJ Styles, and Shawn Michaels up in the GOAT.
In between AJ and Edge.
Okay.
I'm putting it there. I'm putting it there mainly.
So for me,
yeah,
these two are interchangeable.
Same thing with me. That's why I'm putting it there. The only reason I have Edge over CM Punk is mainly because the feud with Cena and Edge felt personal.
It was very personal.
It felt personal. It felt because let's keep it a bean. Let's go. Let's travel back because we're young enough to 2006. Are you? I think you're a year younger than me.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
I'm a year older than you.
Oh, 29, 30. So this is 10-year-old me, 11-year-old you. People that are fans of WWE, if you like John Cena, you were into the hip hop culture, though. You were listening to 50 Cent, Eminem, Jay-Z, Kanye. If you were Edge, you were listening to Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. It was rock versus hip hop. That's what it felt like. It felt personal like that. Like either if you were a John Cena fan, you embraced the hip hop culture to a T. If you loved Edge, you embraced that rock and roll metal culture to a T. And even in the culture of music, those cultures of music clash with each other. So it felt personal because when you're a kid, if you like John Cena, you have to like everything hip hop. If you like Edge, you have to like everything rock and roll. It tore friendships apart because those favorite wrestlers, you had to hate each other because your favorite wrestlers hated each other. That's how it felt like when you were a kid.
Yeah, I knew no Edge fans growing up. Like everybody hated that motherfucker.
Yeah,
and that's because he was a great heel. Like, let's be real. Honestly, CM Punk and Edge are very interchangeable for me. CM Punk I think, had a great, like, the Money in the Bank build-up was iconic in that moment of when he beat Cena at Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. Iconic. And I think that sticks more in my memory than a lot of the Cena Edge feud. Mm-hmm. And then they had that really good match on Raw. I think it was like 2013. That was
2013. It was the winner faces The Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was really entertaining. And you knew it was going to be John Cena winning it.
The fact that you saw when you bring it up like that, the fact that you saw CM Punk hit a pile driver, an old school pile driver, and then out of the blue, this is when John Cena was still a wall brick. Do a Hurricane Rana to an AA. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was insane. Like, and that's why I really want to see another CM Punk John Cena match.
Which is why I'm hoping.
And
I'm hoping because I am buying tickets day of because WWE. I am not spending $300 for nosebleeds for Money in the Bank. I'm already going to be in LA to watch Worlds Collide because I got the tickets for cheap. Thank you for that. But I know day of tickets, you guys sell them for cheaper. I'm going to be there. I'm probably going to buy the tickets while I'm watching Worlds Collide. And then I'm driving a block away to get to that arena and watch Money in the Bank. I better see Cena versus Punk. I need to see it.
So I think this is where we can leave it off. I think it's a very solid tier list. I think it's got some people a little upset. That
I
range
did.
order's a little low for some people, but
It's like I said, the build up it's fantastic, but it's just that some of the matches felt underwhelming for two people of the
and
caliber.
the only thing I will say about it is I think it was too much sometimes.
2009, you felt withdrawal.
Yeah,
They
I
feuded.
think and that's not all like that's not Cena and Orton's fault. Like this is more of a booking thing.
Yeah,
Like
the fact
this,
that we
like there
saw
was
this come from
nobody else apparently
mm,
that they couldn't have
yeah,
put in there.
the fact that we went from June to early November, to early 5 months, 5 straight months of Cena versus Orton.
Yeah,
That's exhausting.
and then
Almost
this is crazy.
half the year was them feuding with one another.
Yeah, and you have what was it? I think because they just told us the number. Backlash. It's like 80 something matches.
That's
Like,
including house shows.
I mean, including house shows, but like there was still a lot of televised shows. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff because they were on Raw. They would be involved in multi-man matches. Because don't forget, like they had the multi-man matches like at like Backlash 2007. It was Cena, Orton, Edge, and Michaels,
And then they had another one again when it was him, Randy, King Booker, McFoley, and Bobby Lashley, I believe.
Yeah, there was a bunch of they were always the focal point. But I tell you what, I'm happy with this list. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Yeah.
There's nothing I would change about it, to be honest. I'm looking at it right now. I think we were all fair with all the other feuds that we did. I think with Randy and Kevin Owens, they're the only two that I would elevate. It was like potentially GOAT if we got more time for Kevin Owens and Cena. And then Randy, I would put in the GOAT category if some of the matches were more memorable.
Yeah.
Like we had to pick and choose like 2-3 matches that we thought were like fantastic, as opposed to we can name the matches that said AJ for how short AJ and Cena's feud was. The matches were fantastic. Same thing with him and Michaels. His matches with Michaels were fantastic. Edge on story build up alone, and that TLC match at Unforgiven. Need I say more?
Yeah. It was definitely yeah, I don't think I'd change anything.
Neither would I.
Yeah. So
I think we did good, brother.
I'm cool with it. But yeah, I mean, guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by today. Like, this is just a short show. Next week we might have a little something more to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, another tier list. I'm like, what's Money in the Bank? So I say, why not do a Money in the Bank tier list? But with this
like the matches, the winners, or like the pay-per-views itself.
No, the whole spiel where it's the match, the match and the winner of it, and what happened in the aftermath of the cash-in. So, like, example, Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank 2014. We include the match itself, the winner, and what happened after the cash-in. Put all those at once just to see if it's S tier, yada, yada, yada. That way it makes it more difficult for us to analyze it all at once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to see how it was as a whole for the whole Money in the Bank winner, his match, his cash-in, and the aftermath of his cash-in.
Yeah, but yes, you can send it to me. Do you have Instagram, RJ?
I was gonna say Instagram would be the best bet to
I'll say you can do Instagram, you can do Facebook. I don't know if you're friends with any of us on Facebook. I don't know if you're in the Discord, like any of them here. If you want, you can just here. I'm gonna type this out for you. Boom. So that right there is my Instagram handle. You can just you can just follow me. I'll accept it. And then you should be able to message me. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I am in the middle of creating the next Jeopardy for July. I'm aiming to do it in July.
And at this point, because he's been here
Maybe
for the
in
longest
June.
time,
We'll see.
RJ, at this point, might as well have you join the next
Yeah,
Jeopardy.
when do you want to join the Jeopardy?
Yeah, because
I
brother,
think
you
we know who's winning.
you are the
If we join it.
encyclopedia, bro. You are the genius when it comes to anything wrestling at this point. With you, I would love it, especially since people will, since the topic of tag team Jeopardy was brought in. I think that's an interesting concept. I think doing the tag team Jeopardy would be an interesting concept because yours truly is still the reigning, defending, undisputed Jeopardy champion. I defeated 2 individuals, including one of them being the mighty Josiah Arrington. Y'all want it? Come get it. But like I said, we saw your message right now, RJ. Anytime you want, because honestly, you're the most interactive with us out of like when it comes to the Jeopardies. You are very interactive. We appreciate you for that as well. Your knowledge is pretty solid. So anytime we do Jeopardies, let us know.
Ready,
we would love to have you. Realistically, we would love to have you. Like all jokes aside, with me. What happened?
Somehow cut myself, and I don't know how. But whatever.
I don't want to know either, but that's on that's on you.
All right, RJ, I just accepted that, so you could definitely shoot me a message, and I will make sure to put that in the next Jeopardy. But thank you guys, the ones of you that did join us today. I really appreciate it, and promise next week we're gonna have a little bit more fun. We're gonna have some more stuff to deal with next week. But appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a good one.
A punto de la caca.